Yeah, so HLE and T1 definitely watching this with bated breath. I would assume, again, that they're pretty confident, but you never know what's going to happen as Gen.G start on the blue side here. Nico, the first ban, as is customary, it feels like, from the blue side. Did get through pretty early on in the last series that I did cast, which was pretty interesting between KT and BNK.
Yeah, I think it's a good ban in general, but also specifically against Peter. I think it's a super high value ban. It's been one of his best picks. He's been one of the best performers on it. And continuing with some target towards BDD here with this Rise ban coming through. Wukong going to come through next, away from Canyon. We have seen, obviously, things move away a little bit from the Pantheon being just a Pima red side ban, seeing it lose a good amount more. Rise to Lear taken away from BDD, so some heavy focus there.
Yeah, I think that's fair. You know, if you take Pantheon, they're going to take Taliyah 100% of the time. So you want to ban that away. As with Pantheon and Yunara available, what will they go towards? I mean, those are the first two in terms of the tier list right now that you would consider. It is going to be the Pantheon. So our question is answered right away.
Yep. And it looks like going for the answer off the Yunara on the other side. So there isn't that Wukong available. We often see like the Wukong into the Yunara. And actually they're going to secure the Annie as well. So often to counteract the Yunara, you go for those sort of engage picks that can lock it down, make it life difficult in team fights. A lot of those taken off the cards here. In the Nico gone, the Wukong gone, Rumble, Annie denied. So we'll see what Gen.G look to go for instead. The Orianna obviously makes things a little bit awkward with the Shockwave. And I wonder if they end up going for top lane pick here for Keen. Or if you want to secure something for the bot lane, now could the opportunity to take it away. Corki has been a massive pick for Ruler, and I feel like would probably be banned if we go to second rotation.
Yeah, definitely got the eyes on the Corki right now, as we have our eyes on Ruler. If it is going to be a top lane, it's almost definitely got to be Aurora, as she counters a lot of the stuff that is available. And now thinking about the Sion here for Perfect in response.
Yeah, I think Keen has been phenomenal on the Aurora and very good at punishing a lot of lanes, but I think Sion, one of those picks where you just have to weather the storm. And you are going to scale up and eventually become very tanky, so it's not that big of an issue. But you're not going to have lane prio there. Now, I think, to no surprise, Corki ban going to come through, denying that away from Ruler. I think, as well, you're going to have fierce prio in terms of the support you want to take for Peter, but also like limiting some of the tools. Right now, Gen.G have a lot of things like the Shockwave, like the Aurora ult, with a lot of power to deal with the Yunara, but I think you want some setup. Something like an Alistair or maybe a Rakan could have a lot of value, so maybe KT look to deny some of those, maybe ban one, pick one themselves. Could have a lot of value. The Poppy ban coming through makes a lot of sense as a pick that can obviously flex between jungle and support, but also just shuts down that engage potential.
Yeah. Would be very good for creating space for the Yunara. They're going to ban away Ruler's Jhin.
Okay. So maybe thought process is there's enough engage supports up that they don't feel like it's worth putting bans towards them. I guess there is like Rakan, Rel, Alistair, but I don't know. I guess the follow-up of the Jhin on the rest of those tools could be quite threatening. And it's Rakan banned by Gen.G here, so Alistair, Rel, two options, but maybe, yeah, they're just going to pick up the Alistair. I guess as well, Alistair into Rel, you feel more favorable about that matchup. And now for Gen.G, I feel like you do want something to add the extra layer for engage to lock down that Yunara. Right now, if you look at the composition of KT, outside of the Yunara, pretty low damage. So if you kill Yunara, I think you're pretty good to go.
I think that's where their focus has to be. I think every Yunara comp kind of works that way as well, especially if you draft like this. The Bard, very good for locking her down as well, but you don't kind of get that reliable heavy engage.
I think it's risky. It's a good lane because you have that range advantage into an Alistair, but it's not super reliable because the stun's hard to hit on someone who's so mobile. And the ult as well. You know, you have that dash that comes with the Yunara ultimate. I feel like the Yunara should be able to avoid a bard ult. Typically, he's better into a mobile picks.
Smolder?
Gen.G going for the Smolder.
Game 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the pick I would have expected. And the Jarvan comes out for Cuz, so some engage power in the mid jungle. Yeah, I feel a little bit weird about these drafts. So I think KT kind of lacking a bit of damage outside of the Yunara, but they do have strong engage tools between the rest of their composition. If they can get some early momentum, they can obviously blow up things like the Orianna. I'm a bit concerned if Dr. gets focused down, the rest of their comp just might not have gas in the tank in those team fights. On the other side for Gen.G, you know, the top side has a lot of threat fielded with the Yunara, but the bot side, the Smolder Bard doesn't inspire a lot of faith. You know, they are going to have Prio in the bot lane, you are going to be able to farm up with the Smolder, but I think there's a lot of things they could have played otherwise to have more pressure early and put more threat onto the Yunara.
It's almost like they felt like they had the Yunara on lock. And they're like, okay, let's just not spend a lot of draft bucks in game 1.
Yeah.
Let's pick Smolder so that we can play Sivir in game 2. It's risky because now, obviously, Duckdom can also play that. And, you know, we could see Rel in game 2 for Peter instead, if you're not picking it here. Definitely going to be fighting fire with fire as well with that Smolder to see if he can get online and actually be as impactful as the Yunara is, as we know she can be. So definitely a lot on Ruler's shoulders to try to get fed, and for his team to help him get there. We'll see if it happens as we're ready. Let's hop into the rim for game number 1.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 미니언 생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
Alrighty, game number 1 of the playoff upper round match 1. That's where we're at of the Udi Bank 2025 LCK playoffs. Thank you for joining us, one and all, as we're getting ready to see Gen.G play their first best of 5 in a while.
Yeah. One thing that does feel very Gen.G-esque is the fact that they have this Pantheon, a jungle who's able to make plays early, set things up well, and they have 3 lanes where you're going to have that early prio achieved. So they can just get a lot of early momentum in this game. You know, you think of Smolder as a pick where, like, okay, you need to scale up, but this is really going to be a game where KT are on the back foot early. So I think Gen.G are going to be quite comfortable out the gate here. And that's a bit of the concern, is that if Duckdom falls behind early, this comp just might never really get footing. And Peter takes not so hot trade there on the offset.
Yeah. It's doing the Alistair thing where you go headbutt, and that's your way of trading. But when you're into a Bard and a Smolder, you don't get to win trades. So kind of just accepting the beating and not able to do much.
Yep. Hard to play that in this situation. Cuz looks like, yeah, he's dodging away from that ward that was pinged. And he's actually going to steal away some camps on the other side. So very sneaky, finding an angle here. And if he... I mean, we'll see if Canyon is able to read this. Obviously, he doesn't have that information from seeing Cuz, but maybe senses something from the fact that Raptors hasn't been taken. At some point, he'll discover it when he heads up to his top side, though. And if he does beeline straight to Cuz's blue side... Actually, it looks like Cuz is not going to take the Wolves, so... Now Cuz can loop back up, he can go to his Raptors, and then defend his blue side. So this is going to be pretty good for Cuz. There's not really anything Canyon can do in this situation. That being said, he just had Prio on the bot side, so maybe they can look for some pressure there.
Yeah, it'll take him a while to get all the way around, as saw the couple of pings on the ward. Canyon knows his blue is gone, obviously, so he's looking to invade now and see what he can see here on this Jarvan.
Oh, BDD has to watch out.
Uh-oh, BDD. Really rough spot for him, as now he's going to flash. The follow flash comes in, but the stun is there. And now they don't quite have the damage on a BDD. Here's Cuz getting a ton of damage done with the Conqueror, and that is just first blood given over to BDD.
It's so big for KT. I feel like Cuz just read Canyon so well, knew exactly the path he was going to take, avoided the ward, and then when Canyon ends up coming in, BDD, it looked like he was in a bad spot. He flashes away, and Cuz is there for the counter, and now Cuz gets so much value from that. This is an early game where Canyon
He's
had...
got red buff.
Oh man, that's such a good trade. This is an early game where Canyon had everything in his favor with the lane pressure, and now Cuz is in such an advantageous position.
Yeah, it's pretty gigantic. You talked about how Cuz was so impactful in their series against B&K Fear-X. And it looks like he's back once again, starting off early in game number 1. And Canyon's like, what can I get on this map?
Yeah, now with no flash as well, if you go for a gank, you're under-leveled, you have no flash. If a gank goes bad, the game might just be doomed.
잠깐만.
And it's a sidestep on the Q at the end that saves BDD.
나 안 죽었어? 보자.
You can see how hyped he is the moment he sidesteps it. The minion's doing so much damage as well, the Canyon hitting on him.
미안하다, 못 봤어.
He's like, oh, sorry, I didn't see him. Because there was a ward, by the way. There was a ward that saw Canyon wrapping around there.
Yeah.
And so BDD was like, oh sorry.
It looked like it could have almost been a bad spot. And you see Canyon, you're now in this position where no camps are up, and you're trying to desperation force a gank to get some value here.
Rolster on a 6-game losing streak.
Yeah,
Pretty
not the best
interesting.
time.
Yeah. Not sure how that happened. Alistair is a very strong support picked up here in game 1. Here comes Cuz again, being quite annoying. Is currently the same level as Canyon.
Yeah, up 1 camp at the moment. But I think as well, just if you're in this position as a job into the Pantheon, you stop him from having that early pressure, you're getting towards your 6, you're feeling pretty good. Top lane, Perfect not feeling so good in this matchup. And I think we've seen consistently, when we've had Aurora into, whatever champion Aurora's played into, Keen has been the most brutal with how he's played out lanes. We've had Aurora into Rumble. I feel like Keen has been the one who has put the hit down the most when he's played this matchup. One of the first players to bring out the Aurora top lane as well. So, Perfect having a bit of a tough time. Speaking of a tough time.
Yeah, little Tibbers play, just some pressure, but certainly does not feel very good. BDD gonna summon Tibbers back. Nicely done.
And now that just means prio achieved for KT in the mid lane. And Cuz looking potentially towards the dragon right now.
He's looking directly at the dragon. In fact, he's even hitting it with his weapon and attempting to take it down.
Yeah, I'm able to step up here. Does get stunned, but not really much Gen.G's bot lane can do. And this is such a good early start for KT. This is kind of it's not it's not really an advantage in terms of they're not really ahead in gold, but they have that dragon, they got that early kill. If you look at what the gold is as well, BDD getting a bit of a lead, definitely nice. But it's just a positive start considering where the concerns were with the lane priority, and especially bot lane is doing pretty okay. This is one of the things with having the Smolder is even though they had the priority, you're not really able to punish the lane that heavily. It was just more so what Canyon could potentially do, and then because things kind of backfired for him, it's been a much slower early game.
Okay, gonna deny the magical journey.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's really not, nobody's here, so it's not really amounting to too much.
I love when you just look and you see those pointless trades. And I'm not saying he shouldn't go for it, but it's just, you see those trades where it's like nothing's gonna come from this, but it's just why not? Click your buttons, do your thing.
He didn't have magical journey anymore, so.
If
you interrupt him, maybe you scare him off.
That's how you find a window, right?
Yeah.
You look for those, maybe a mistake happens and you get something. But we kind of know, we're watching, they know in the moment, they're like, Dura's not going to die, Dura knows it, Peter knows it, but it's just, yeah, you go for the trade. It's like when you see the tanks fighting in the top lane.
Yeah.
And they're just never going to kill each other.
Just kind of staring at each other menacingly.
It's about sending a message.
Yeah.
I will say Perfect went for the Bami Cinderfist and didn't pick up some magic resist.
Seems like a problem.
Yeah, it helps with the wave clear, but I feel like he is just taking every time we look top, he is in the danger zone.
He doesn't even really have that much mana. He's just desperately trying to trade it out. Cuz got one of these grubs and he's backing away. He's going to be happy with that.
Yeah, the top priority problem is not making it easy to play towards this side of the map. And Perfect, we talked about weathering the storm. The storm is hitting hard right now, so currently Keen in a pretty good position, despite the fact it's 0-0-0. He's 24 CS up, about 600 gold. Still, Perfect pretty even in XP though, so that's something at least.
Yeah, I mean, he's catching all the waves, just not maybe CSing all of them perfectly. As both of our top laners are backing here, neither of them have TP, but it doesn't look like we're going to get any swaps in this game. At least not yet. It's a relatively quiet early game outside of that one play in mid, which theoretically should have gone the way of Gen.G, but did not. So Gen.G are taking a little back seat. They still have that Smolder in their pocket as well.
Yep. Going towards the Essence Reaver. It looks like Will did go press the attack on Smolder. Huh.
He wants to press the attack. He wants to attack pressingly, and you know, if he can get in range and actually land a couple of autos here onto the Yunara after the engage of his team, might not be so bad. I, for one, I'm a very big fan of Bard and Orianna together. I feel like you can set up a lot of plays, even if it's not Yunara, even onto a front line, even if it's like Jarvan, Alistar, you can probably just like chunk them out so badly, even if you don't kill them in the mid to late game, that it is very strong. So got to be looking out for that combo as this game comes along.
Yeah, I guess the theory is probably for the lane. I just feel like fleet footwork, obviously the stain, and later on you get more value. I feel like later on it's going to be so hard to press the attack. I mean, I guess if you're hitting the Scion, it's not that hard. But so often you're just playing around your Q. Oh, BD's taking, despite the Tibbers usage, getting the worst end off that trade.
Oh, gonna throw down an ult. That's not an easy target to hit.
Yeah, the movement speed, the shield helping, and Cuz is looking.
Yeah, flash comes in, there's the stun. Chovy very low, trying to trade back on a VDD, but there's nowhere for him to go. The heal is there!
Oh, the flash!
The flash on the Cataclysm gets him out just barely. Because meanwhile, we got Duro trying to kill BDD, but TP is coming in. And I think Duro is just dead in this one. Lands the stun, and it just doesn't matter. A second kill here for KT.
Oh man, Chovy played that perfectly. Second perfect to survive. Unfortunately, Duro, not much you can do to be able to clean up the kill. BDD and Chovy both surviving. Minimal HP.
All right,
Canyon?
1Q. Perhaps.
Fast. Yeah, he gets away. Is Canyon in trouble? No. Peter's going to come over and headbutt him, maybe. It appears not. So, a very hectic passage of play. And I think Chovy literally did everything he had to do to stay alive there with a bit of help from Duro. So, he ends up getting flash stunned here. The flag and drag hits. And then he's just getting hit. Duro comes over, gives him the heal when he's super low, and then he flashes the Cataclysm damage. Times it so he avoids the damage specifically. And then here, Duro, I think he's in the mindset of his portal is down. He used his magical journey before this, and he's like, I'm probably dead.
Uh-oh. Chovy, no flash. He's just isolated. Where is he? In the river. And they give the kill over to Peter, unfortunately. It's still a kill over to KT, but you really would have loved that on your Yunara.
Yeah, I think the trample damage is what took that there.
That's crazy.
So a little bit sad. Yeah, we're just talking about how Chovy did everything he could to escape. He just dies there pretty unceremoniously. Nocturne, unfortunately, not the one to get the kill, but a good play coming out. Good pickup from Peter and Nocturne in the bot lane. And a second dragon picked up for KT is big.
It is Chemtech Soul.
Unfortunately, not the soul you'd ideally be looking for. There are some targets on KT who get a good amount of value from it. Scion, definitely. Jarvan as well will get value for the shielding when they're low. But here, yeah, the Slurkle comes out.
Slurkle.
And then just a flash combo.
Oh, here we go again.
Whoa.
This time it's Ruler, and the magical journey's there, but it's just going to be another one and make it two. A double kill for Duckdom already.
That is a problem for Gen.G. You've just given so much gold to this Yunara. That one item spike comes in, and immediately Duckdom able to get some massive value out of it. 5-0. And all those 3-0 predictions looking pretty silly in this game. This is a pretty massive advantage, and KT feeling great.
Yeah, I mean, KT definitely looking like the stronger team here in this early game. That is easy to see. Here comes Cuz, and Chovy just doesn't have his flash, but Cuz going to abandon the play as BDD not quite in range.
Yeah, Chovy playing the defensive end and having the Roleventvods is a bit bulky, but here, Duro and Roller just playing super far up. Hex Flash play comes out. I think you have to flash the initial combo if you're going to flash. And yeah, Duro was very overextended there, trying to set up vision. Just a good play by KT. Looking for that punish there. And so far, things haven't really come together for Gen.G. I mean, you have this Smolder Insurance, but it's a long way away, and that Yunara is starting to pop off already.
Yeah. I mean, this lead is pretty gigantic for the side of KT. I will say that you have to continue being clean. Gen.G is a team where we know that they can come back if you give them an inch. So got to be careful about that. I'm sure KT do know about that, but it's a really good look for KT. I mean, this is awesome that they can come in here and absolutely smash this early game, even from behind in the lanes and the lane matchups, and just go into the mid game with a 2,000 gold lead and just be essentially enjoying life, especially with 2 kills on Yunara.
Yeah, I mean, you look 1,500 lead for Doctor for that 80 carry roll. And the thing is, they have a 2,300 gold lead, and that's with Perfect being 700 gold down. And you're not really that upset about your Sion being down in gold, because you went into that matchup with the mindset of he's going to be down in gold into a Aurora, but he's going to be tanky. He's going to scale up. He's going to be okay. So...
okay. He's able to get into the magical journey.
Didn't turn into a penguin because he was stunned. You notice that?
Yeah, that looks weird. I was like, that looks weird. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you caught that.
Yeah.
It's just normal Bard.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Kind of made me feel uncomfortable.
I guess I don't have a stunned penguin animation.
Yeah. Probably should. Maybe they will after this.
They should wait.
Maybe now they realize. They're like, huh.
There's some notes for that skin. It's almost perfect, but that's all they're missing.
Yeah.
Now setting up a Herald here. They're looking to contest this Gen.G are.
Hey, you got a ghosted Alistair in your face. With ult available, he's just going to go in because he has that ult, and he's taking a lot of damage, though. Got to be careful. Peter definitely getting a bit overexcited. We also have the TP coming in from Perfect, which really doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
but they got the Rift Herald.
I think Peter's play was fine. Him going aggressively there and zoning away, using the Ghost to sort of create space in the ult to get and Ghost to get out again. I think the TP was kind of overforced. Didn't really need to happen because with the towers being there, with the mid-tier 1 being up, there was no really real way you could extend the play. They do just switch up the lane assignments. Oh!
Yeah, Chovy doesn't respect the Scion! And he gets tower aggro as well! Chovy's 0 and 2, he's dead again.
And then beautifully, you get the TP from Keen on the back of the play, so the fact you didn't teleport before is answered back. And I think KT, you know, no notes. That worked out pretty fantastically. The wave gets cleared, Chovy gets aggro. He dies so much quicker than they expected. I think maybe if Duro was a little bit closer and could have used the Bard ult, maybe that's a play we could have talked about.
Yeah.
But Chovy was his flash up when that happened?
I believe so. I got fooled by the UI a couple days ago, but...
Pretty uncharacteristic mistakes coming out from Gen.G, but KT doing a fantastic job of punishing. I think it's a takeaway. It does look like the flash is up.
Yeah.
And Bard is pretty close by. Bard is in range.
It's like both of them never expected that to happen.
It's just like neither of them used their buttons.
That did happen as well.
You know, they had the Tempered Fate, they had the flash. Either of them could have used it. And, you know, I assume, just make an assumption, they were both waiting for the other to use one, right? I think it was probably like one of the, like, Chovy was like, you Tempered Fate,
you just
Duro
gotta
was like,
send
you flash. Someone needs to do something. Neither of them did something. He just died very quickly. So, bit of a flub there from Gen.G, and now the lead is expanding, and it's going to be third dragon for KT. I kind of feel a little bit rough because it is that Chemtech Soul. Oh my god.
Okay, Duckdom claiming he's the ruler of mid lane, but now he's taking a ton of damage, just dives to the Smolder. Ruler going to pick up that kill for free. Duckdom not respecting it. Here's Cuz though. As Canyon trying to get that life back. Keen just trying to survive himself, but everything comes in as Duro gonna ult the tower to deny. But Ruler still in a lot of trouble, gets flashed on by Peter. Triple kill for Cuz as KT turn it around.
With how that fight started, right? Dr. sliding in, basically getting exploded, they still decimate the rest of the fight. They don't even need the Yunara at this point. Cuz so far ahead gets a triple kill. The tower's protected by the Bardal from the Herald. Doesn't matter. They'll go for a second charge. I think, yeah, goodbye to the Herald there. But KT just stomping this game one. They want to go to Worlds.
And, I mean, it's game one, but they're, as you mentioned, it's very one-sided. So Duckdom comes in here, gets very over-aggressive with this play.
A little bit excited. Yeah. Just gets kind of one shot. The redemption comes in, but it's a little bit after he's already died. But bear in mind, so he's done a lot of damage, but they just clean up the fight so easily. Peter gets this great knock-up after the stun on the Keen. The bottle just to stop the Herald charge, but it kind of also means they can just dive in deeper. And then Cuz just kind of explodes Ruler.
Look for Pantheon.
Okay.
I'm looking. Doesn't have to say anything else. I mean, the play kind of plays itself out with everybody super low.
And I think we've seen a lot of series where if you get demolished early by Gen.G, you can lose a lot of your confidence. If you get ahead early and then it falls apart, you can lose a lot of confidence. But if KT continue in this manner and they get a convincing game one, it could really be such a confidence boost for the series. So they need to close this game out. That is the main takeaway. The lead they have isn't insurmountable. Ruler is approaching those big stacks. But they have been in such good form so far this game. And now they're looking towards the Archon on the bot side of the map. Gen.G trying to set up vision in the area, but they feel so squishy, right? I mean, look at the items Canyon has compared to Cuz.
Yeah.
Right? He's got the upgraded boots plus 2 full items. Canyon's got Sundered Sky and a Kindle Gem. And I know I complain about Sundered Sky.
It's very good.
It's not that good, right? Because Cuz also has Sundered Sky and then a Black Cleaver.
All right, little angle here for Peter. That is Aurora. Keen showing a lot of respect, but still did a ton of damage on the backside to Peter, and now Peter's down his ult.
Yeah, but I think getting the Aurora ult pretty massive. They do end up just backing away. I think they have redemption still, so they could have healed up and went for it, but I think they'll just take that advantage. Chovy, what did Perfect do to Chovy to get him that low? Stacked Q from a rush, maybe?
Yeah.
But that's the thing, you get to this point in the Scion, and Perfect's just, he's fine in the side lane. Both solo laners are AP. He's got the Hollowed Radiance, he's got those Merc Treads. You can even upgrade the Merc Treads for that Magic Shield, and you're super comfortable. You're getting to the point where you're just too tanky to really be bothered about the side lane matchup. He's actually ahead in levels compared to Keen right now. So he's kind of hit the point where he doesn't really care. Oh, Canyon, you've been spotted. They're looking for BDD.
Yeah, they don't know they're spotted. This collapse is coming in real quick. Here comes BDD. Duro's in a lot of trouble as he is going to flash, but that is Jarvan. You're not getting away from him easily. Down goes the Bard. And here comes Canyon as well. Free food for the Yunara. A third kill for Duckdom. And that should be Otacon on top of it.
Such good vision setup, some great flanks from Cuz and Peter, and it's like they set the bait up of BDD, they saw Gen.G moving in, they flank around perfectly, and I think the main thing we've seen from Cuz, we saw it in the early levels when he dodged that Water Raptors, we saw it here as well, playing around vision so well, knows exactly where the wards are, exactly where the vision is, and able to skid around them to find these angles. Otacon picked up 4 KT, and Souls in 40 seconds. They should be able to pick up as well.
Went from 15 to 21 petals. Not the biggest deal, but they still get that permanent buff as...
Yep, and the increased value. And then here, I mean, when Peter comes around and headbutts you into his team, there's just nothing you can do. And it just feels like KT, again, the only mistake they have done this game was when Duckdom slid into the entire enemy team and died.
It was a bait. It was a bait.
And they crushed that team fight. They crushed that team fight.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe that was intentional. Ruler has hit the stacks. That is the one thing. He does have the rapid fire for the extended range. Doesn't have the IE for the increased damage. But he's at least gotten to that point where he's a little bit more threatening. I'm not sure it's enough though, right now. Gen.G look like they're not even... Oh no, they're TPing Chovy in.
Yeah. All 5 of them going to group up for this one. They say, we got the stacks. If we're going to fight, we got to fight here. And they say, we've got an Elder Dragon. We don't want to see another one. Ruler going to get away from that. But what is this split-up fight? We got an Aurora ult just splitting everyone up. Keen kiting everyone down. And Perfect's going to go down here on the top side. And so will Keen. And Zombie Scion as well going to hit the deck. Already 4,000 damage done by Ruler. And KT showing a lot of respect to this.
Yeah, Ruler's starting to shred. Perfect goes down so quickly there. And a lot of resources were used there to take out Keen. Cuz trying to get a look into the Dragon now.
Trying to come back. Yeah, they want Cuz to try to steal, but will they have the vision? Will they have the ability to do so?
Oh,
the flash comes in, the stun hits 2! And the anti-engage does come out from the Bard, but they're so low already. Look at the damage from Ruler, though. BDD getting chunked out as Ruler goes over the wall. Chovy is safe as well, but Duro will go down. 8k damage to the Smolder. But the biggest thing, Gen.G deny the Chemtech Soul.
And I think the magical journey at the end that timed out, I think saved Chovy and Ruler. Because I believe Dogdad was going to go through that. You saw the intent. He was looking for the cleanup. So we see Perfect goes in, just gets melted. You see how quickly his health is going down. Keen tries to retreat, but unfortunately, the towers are still there, so he can't even go invisible. Dogdad ends up getting chunked, and so he actually goes back to base to walk back in. So this fight is very scrappy, and Ruler's doing a lot of damage, but he actually can't cut through Cuz that quickly. So he's trying to shred him, but Cuz is kind of just up in his face. Yeah. But then look, Dogdad, he paused for a moment. I thought he was going to go through, but it times out.
Yeah.
He had flash and barrier. But yeah, okay, Ruler now has IE. It's a huge spike. So 5,500 gold lead to KT. But Ruler is firmly online, and KT need to kill him.
Yeah.
No way to spin it. He is the threat on the enemy team. We talked about having that insurance policy off the Smolder. I think you can kind of see what Gen.G's game plan was with it. I don't think Gen.G went into this game expecting to be 5k goal behind, but they found themselves there, and I think they're appreciating the fact they have this Smolder.
I mean, if they didn't have Smolder, like, if they had Sivir, let's say, I think you just lose.
I mean, Sivir into...
you just lose.
Sivir into Jarvan would be pretty rough.
I think the game would just be over. But now we're sitting here like, does Gen.G actually have a chance in this game?
Yeah.
Because they've been getting absolutely destroyed for 25 minutes.
It really comes down to Ruler. Can they protect him? Can he peel for himself? Can he just get the damage out? Because Perfect, it doesn't matter what items you really build. It's percentage HP true damage. You will just eventually die.
Yeah.
The Unending Despair at least gives you some healing to help sustain you up. And obviously he does do physical damage with his Q, so reducing that is good.
Yeah.
But ultimately, there's not a ton you can do to stop his damage.
Seen a lot of comps nowadays have multiple threats. I feel like we see a lot less single threat compositions nowadays. I feel like for KT they were running with just the Unara, but the fact that Cuz is so fed and also BDD is ahead, you've got extra threats.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. If they were behind, it would feel like Unara a bust, but because BDD and Cuz are strong, it feels a lot more workable. Like, if Cuz gets on Ruler, he can just kind of beat him up. But it's getting to a point where it's starting to be a bit worrying, especially Ruler's starting to go some sustain, so it'll get to the point where he does so much damage he can kind of out-sustain if someone like Perfect is up in his face. I mean, he could anyway, to be honest. Perfect's not that much of a threat, but he'll eventually get to the point where he just shreds Cuz. Things slow down a bit. It is that Soul again in a minute 40. Baron is up and available, and I think any time that is bought for Gen.G is going to be positive in this game.
Definitely is. I mean, even Chovy's looking at a death cap here soon. And, he hasn't been a factor at all in this game, but if you look at the gold, he's not really behind BDD at all. And a late game Orianna, is going to be somewhat of a threat.
Yep.
The rest of the team isn't really doing much. Keen has some lead as Duro. He is going to get chunked out, but guess who gets chunked out even more? It's Peter.
Yeah, the Ruler is so scary, and the rapid fire is so hard to deal with. It gives them that extra range. And they're just willing to drop Baron.
They're just going to start it. And KT, I mean, they get vision now. The flag comes down. But the damage on this Baron is so fast. They need to close the distance right now. As Cuz is right here, ready for the steal. It looks like that is going to be the play. It's just going to come down to a flip. Who's going to pick it up? It goes to one! It goes to one! And now Ruler in a ton of trouble.
He's dead!
The Q from the end, he chases him down. And they get the Baron on top of the kill. And now Gen.G just desperate to get out. Can they get away from Duckdom? Looks like the answer's gonna be no, as TP's coming him in and KT want to end this game.
That's going to be game one. Keen not going to be able to do enough. Solo, this steal from Cuz, the 1 HP on the Baron, and the cleanup comes in. Ruler gets exploded, and KT start this series with a bang.
So all they had to do, just take the Baron, win the fight, end the game. We were very much in a slow position, and yeah, I mean, Keen's trying his best to clear the wave with the Baron buff. It's not gonna happen. Can't even deal with Tibbers. This is gonna be the end of game one. KT gonna take it down and bust all of those 3-0 predictions out the window, as they're looking strong coming off of their last win here in game one.
Just start to finish.